At Reno, I actually only sold 3 jobs.
Still, you sold
But
something.
one of those jobs was to Harley Corporate.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so I was excited,
Yeah.
Sold 3 jobs.
One to Harley-Davidson?
Yeah, one of them to Harley Corporate.
Good Lord.
We're the Beer Garden Mafia. That's how we roll. Laughing loud, living free. That's how we stole.
Welcome to the Beer Garden Mafia Podcast. I'm Eric. I'll be your host today. I actually have the King of Bling himself, Mr. Keith Brinton here. How you doing, Keith?
I'm doing great.
It's crazy to have you on that side as a guest, but
yeah, it feels a little odd.
But you've done some very interesting things to get yourself to this point in your life, and I think it's something that our viewers would love to hear, kind of how this all came about, and you get to know you a little bit more.
Okay.
So Keith, let's get into it here. How long have you been riding Harleys?
I got my first Harley in 1978. I was 18 years old. It was a Harley-Davidson FX lowrider.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was a cool bike. I loved it.
Did you get in trouble on it?
Yeah, no, not really.
18 usually is.
No, I mean, I used to rip around town on it and stuff. I thought I was like, Fonzie,
Oh, they wanted to be Fonzie back then. Heck yeah, man.
Yeah, So, yeah, I've been riding Harleys a long time.
Very cool. So, how did you come up with, and by the way, everybody, he created diamond heads. And I'll let you go ahead into details of what that is, but how did you create diamond heads that became the empire that it did to create, where you've gone in life, and you'd be able to quit your job and do that full time? How did that all come about?
Well, to be honest, I kind of stumbled onto it.
Yeah?
That's how it happened. I had, at the time, in fact, I still own that bike. It's a 1992 FXR.
Okay.
And I pulled the heads and cylinders off it. I was going to put some, bore the cylinders, put some bigger pistons, change the heads, put a cam in it. Just, make her run a little bit better.
Yeah.
So while I was doing that, I thought, I should, at the time, everybody was polishing the edge of the fins, and it looked really good.
Yeah.
And being a former jeweler, I can polish metal.
Aha.
So I was going to do that, and then it just kind of dawned on me, what if I was to diamond cut the edge of these cylinders? Wonder what that would look like.
Yeah.
And so I didn't want to butcher my own cylinders, because I'd never done nothing like that before. Nobody had.
Right. You kind of needed a test mule.
Yeah, so I went to the local Harley dealer, and I bought a junk cylinder from him. Yeah. And I took it home and just kind of experimented on it.
Yeah.
And once I dialed it in and I thought it looked good, then I applied it to my bike. Never thought about selling it. I mean, honestly, I didn't think anybody'd want to buy it. I just thought it was kind of cool. It's my bike. I'm going to do what I want. So I did it.
Yeah.
Not even thinking it could sell. Then I put my motor back together, started riding around, and people were swarming my bike. It was crazy.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, we'd pull up at a biker bar, and people are swarming on my bike, and they're like, what is that? How'd you get that done? And my buddy at the time, he sold mobile homes for a living.
Okay.
And he was a lot smarter than I was. He told me, he says, Keith, you need to go talk to a patent attorney because you got something here. People love this. It could turn into something big.
Right.
And I said, Mark, I do floor covering for a living. That's what I did.
That's what you did.
I installed
a job. Okay.
Yeah, tile and marble floors. That's what I was doing every day.
Out in Las Vegas?
Yeah, in Vegas. And I did pretty good at that. I averaged 80 to 100,000 a year. Yeah. I was making a decent living. Wasn't getting rich, but I was living decent.
Oh, yeah, that's good living.
And I told Mark, I said, man, what do I know about patents or anything?
Right.
I don't know anything about this. I've done floors all my life. Other than that, I was a jeweler for a short period of time. So, I didn't know anything about it at all. But Mark tells me, he says, well, Keith, if you try and fail, what's the worst thing that could happen?
Right.
And I said, I don't know. I guess I go back to doing floors. He goes, well, what are you doing right now? I said, you're right. I have nothing to lose, Yeah. So I tried. And in the beginning, I didn't really have any expendable cash.
Yeah, right.
And no idea of how to go about selling this. So I thought, well, I'm going to go do a motorcycle rally.
Yeah.
I'll rent a booth and put up a display and see how people react to it.
Yeah.
So me and my wife, we drove to Reno, Nevada. It's about a 10-hour drive from Vegas.
Yeah.
We was driving up there, and I told my wife, Amber, I said, I'm not sure if this is the best idea I've ever had or if it's my worst idea. I mean, this may be the dumbest. I don't know. You know, I mean, I'd spent a lot of money. It cost $2,000 just for the booth, plus expenses to get there.
Oh,
You
yeah.
got to have your hotel stay. I mean,
It adds up fast.
it's not cheap to do these motorcycle rallies.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I got money. I've charged it up on a credit card to do this. My wife starts crying. She thought I was an idiot. She really did. I mean, she thought I was dumb as a rock at that point. You know, I mean, she didn't see anybody buying it.
Yeah.
But we went to Reno, and I had my first booth. I had a little folding table, 4-foot folding table. Folded it out. I had a banner made that said Diamond Heads, you know,
Mm-hmm.
the phone number. And I'd only printed 500 cards because I thought, I'm not going to give away 500 cards. You know what I mean? So we set up the booth. I had one cylinder that I diamond cut and this table. And that was our whole booth and one banner.
Yeah.
And 500 business cards. I gave out 500 business cards the first day.
Oh my God.
I ran out of cards. and I was running out rather quickly. So unless somebody asked for a card, I didn't give them a card.
Right, right.
You know, I took them off the table and I was like being a little stingy with them, you know?
Yeah, make them last a little bit.
Yeah, trying to make them last. But I gave out all 500 cards that very first day. And me and my wife was standing standing in line for dinner that night. And people was talking about Diamond Heads.
Uh-huh.
And then my wife was like, "Do you hear that?" And I was like, "Yeah, they're talking about Diamond Heads. That's kind of cool."
Yeah.
She said, "This is going to work." Then she was all about it.
Oh, okay.
So that's where it started. And over the years, let me just back up again to Reno. At Reno, I actually only sold 3 jobs.
Still, you sold
But
something.
one of those jobs was to Harley Corporate.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I was excited, you know.
Yeah.
Sold 3 jobs.
One to Harley-Davidson?
Yeah, one of them to Harley Corporate.
Good Lord.
So they sent a set of heads and cylinders to us. We cut them, sent them back, COD, and they refused the shipment. And so it came back to us. So I called them up and I was like, "What's the problem?" They said, "Oh, we don't pay for this." And I said, "Yeah, like hell you ain't paying.
Right.
You know,
No.
I'm poor.
Yeah.
You're going to pay me."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I told them just flat out, "You're going to pay for it." And after arguing a little bit, they agreed to pay for it. And I added the shipping charges from the first round to it.
Yeah.
They paid for that too. And they got the cylinders. Now let me fast forward to Daytona that same year. But Reno, I believe, is in August, I think.
Yeah.
But Daytona is in February. So in February, we go to Daytona. While we're in Daytona, this guy from Harley comes up to me, bragging to me about how much he knows about Diamond Heads that I don't.
Oh, okay.
And, you know, I'm not a total idiot.
Right.
So I act like I already knew everything he was telling me.
Yeah.
I didn't know any of it. He was the one that told me about the cooling effect of Diamond Heads.
Oh, so they have a cooling effect
Oh, yeah.
outside of just
They cool
looking freaking awesome.
12% better than stock cylinders. They have a
Holy
significant cooling effect.
Wow.
But see, I didn't know any of this at the time.
Yeah.
So luckily for me, when you file for a patent, you have 1 year to change anything within that patent.
Correct.
And if you don't change it before that 1 year, then you can't change it. You're just stuck with whatever you filed for.
Yeah.
Well, now this guy from Harley, he's telling me it's got a cooling effect. I said, yeah, we already knew that. I said, I know how we did our test, but how did you guys do it? And he says, well, we put them in a wind tunnel and we did this and that. And he tells me how they do it, right? So he walks away and I get on the phone. I'm excited. I called my attorney. I said, Dixon, you're never gonna believe this. You know, this is just what happened. And he said, well, we got to get them tested for cooling.
Yeah.
And we'll include it in the patent. So I go back to Vegas after that show, and I called Shelby. You know, Shelby is based in Vegas.
Yeah.
I called them up, and I told them who I was and what I wanted to do. I wanted these heads and cylinders to be tested for a cooling effect. And he said, yeah, we can do that. It'll cost you $100,000.
Yow.
Yeah. I didn't have any money. Okay.
Yeah.
So I told the guy, I was just honest with him. I said, look, man, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't have any money. I got a couple credit cards. I could probably come up with $6,000.
Right.
I said, but there's no way I could come up with $100,000, you know?
That's
and I
huge.
said, is there any way that I can get these tested for less money?
Yeah.
And he said, well, we can't do it, but the university, UNLV, they have an engineering department.
Ah.
And he says, if you call this guy Dr. Pepper, I swear to God, he says, you call this guy Dr. Pepper, and he may be able to help you. And I told him, I said, dude, I mean, I know you don't want to deal with me, but you don't got to be rude and fuck with me. You know, I mean,
Right.
Come on, Dr. Pepper. What do you think? I'm a fucking idiot? I mean, and he goes, no, I know it doesn't sound right, but he says, I swear it's a real guy. Just call him. I said, okay.
Yeah.
So I called the university, expecting them to say, there's nobody
Start
here by
laughing
that
at you.
name. That's what I was. Honestly, that's what I was expecting. Turns out, Dr. Pepper's real. Head of the engineering department.
Wow.
And they just happened to be at a point in their courses where they were going to do wind tunnel testing.
That's
I
divine
told him,
alignment there.
yeah, that's God's intervention right there. So I told him what I had and what we wanted to do and whatnot, and I went up and I talked to him at the college and took him heads and cylinders, showed it to him. He said, well, we can test it, and we'll do it for $5,000.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, I can handle that.
Yeah.
But he also told me, he said, I don't think it's going to have a significant amount of cooling to it. I really don't.
Yeah.
He said, it may be immeasurable, in fact.
Well, you never
So
know.
I said, well, for the patent, it has to have at least 1%. So let's test it and see if it does,
Yeah.
So, I don't know, a week or two goes by, and he calls me up and he says, I'm going to redo the test because I think I did something wrong.
Okay.
And I said, well, why? What's going on? He says, the tests are showing that it has a 12% cooling effect. And as an engineer, I just don't see how that could be right. So I've got this other engineer friend. He's coming into town. He'll be here tomorrow, and we're going to redo all the tests, and then I'll let you know what we get.
Yeah.
So he calls me back, and he says, I've got some great news for you. And I said, well, okay, what's that? He said, it actually does have a 12% cooling effect, and neither one of us could figure out how.
Right.
So to figure out why it's got this significant cooling effect that we don't think it should have,
Yeah.
they blew smoke over it. And what they found out is on stock cylinders, the airflow, like say my fingers are the fins,
Yeah.
the airflow only comes back about halfway on a stock cylinder because the surface is smooth. You get trapped pockets of air on the inside next to the cylinder. The cuts that we put in the outer edge of that cylinder creates turbulence airflow, and it flushes those dead air pockets out. That's where the cooling effect came from.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, so I had it tested and proven that it worked.
Fell into it.
Yeah, and I ended up having a really strong patent thanks to Harley-Davidson, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
Because later on, they wasn't so nice to me. There was, they told dealers that they couldn't work with me at one point even, which really was hurting my business.
Yeah. Oh, you can't have them on the
So-
bad side. So.
I used to walk into dealerships. I'd take a cylinder with me, and I'd walk into a dealership and talk to the manager. You know how many times I got laughed out of Harley dealerships?
A lot.
Hundreds.
Yeah.
Hundreds. I had one time I went into a dealership down in Arizona, and I talked to the manager, and he laughed at me. He said, nobody's going to want to buy that. He says, get the fuck out of my store.
Yeah.
So I said, let me show you something. And I walked over to some people that was in his store, and I said, excuse me, folks, I don't mean to bother you, but if you was already having engine work done and your heads and cylinders had to be off, would you buy this for $450? They said, hell yeah, I would. I said, thank you.
Wow.
And I walked over to another couple. They said they would do it too. So then I told this guy, I said, I figured out what the problem is. It's not my product. It's you. You're not capable of selling it.
Uh-huh.
He goes, I can sell it. And I said, no, I'm not sure. I don't think you can, man. I think you're the problem. And he turned out to be one of our best dealers.
Oh, no kidding.
I swear to God, he did. He turned out to be one of our best dealers. And he was actually a really nice guy. Mm-hmm. But he laughed at me when I first walked into the store.
Oh, yeah. Well,
and
people think,
so you
got it figured out.
It wasn't easy to build that business, I mean, I didn't have a clue what I was doing.
Yeah, that was one of my questions here is, what was the biggest challenge that you had when you started up Diamond Heads and getting it going? I mean, I know advertising and getting your name out.
The biggest challenge was really people not knowing what it was. And so I had to go to motorcycle rallies, and then I wanted to advertise too, but I couldn't afford it. I couldn't afford ads in magazines.
It's expensive, yeah.
Because they're very expensive. So I was in Four Corners, Colorado at a motorcycle rally. And this guy was there. He made a product called the Turbulator. It was basically like a piece of tin stamped out to look like a fan.
I remember those. You'd put it in the air intake and it would spin.
Yeah, between your carburetor and the intake, and it would turbulate the air, break up the gas more, and increase your horsepower. It was actually simple genius. The guy, and he was a super nice guy. So I was talking to him, and he said, well, you should be advertising this. And I said, man, I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't have no fucking money.
Right.
I said, I can't afford advertising.
Yeah.
And he says, well, put out a press release. I said, a what?
Yeah.
He said, a press release. And I'm like, I don't even know what that is,
Let alone, who do I give it to?
Right. I mean, I had no clue. So he says, here's what you need to do. Go home and write up a story about your product and put it in a manila envelope, write press release on it, and send it to the magazines. He said, I guarantee you some of them will run it.
Yeah.
So I did it. I tried it. I figured, what do I have to lose? A bunch of stamps and a little bit of time. So I go home and I write up this story, and I put it out to, I think, 12 magazines. 8 of them ran it.
Nice.
I couldn't believe it,
Free advertising.
Free advertising. So that got us started with the magazines. And then what happened was they were trying to sell me ads.
Yeah.
And I told them, I said, look, I don't even know that this is working yet because we haven't gotten any work off of it. Mm-hmm. But if you'll run an ad for me one more time for free, an actual ad, and anything that I make off it, I'll use that towards paying for ads.
Right.
And so they did it. No shit. I got these magazine companies to give me free ads for 1 month.
Wow.
And then they started pulling in work, And so what I did was they called me up and they said, okay, well, now it's time for you to pay for an ad. I'm like, all right, well, how much is your ad? And they're like, $4,000 a month.
Wow.
And I said, well, that's not going to work. I said, because I've only pulled $3,000 worth of work off of this ad.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lose $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
I said, I'll tell you what I would do. I'd be willing to give you $2,000. As long as it keeps pulling $3,000 a month, I'll make $1,000.
Right.
I'm okay with that. So they kept running my ads. So as time went on and we were growing, they kept trying to raise my prices. And I was like, no, I'm not paying anymore.
Yeah.
So I got ads a lot cheaper than most people did.
Very cool.
So yeah, that's how we got the ads flowing.
So how was in the overall motorcycle industry, how was Diamond Heads received?
People loved it.
And once you got your name
Dealers, even before we really got out there, anybody that's seen it, they loved it. Mm-hmm. But, liking something and being willing to pay for it's two different things.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So I knew a lot of people liked it, but I also knew we were dependent on them getting into their engine, them being willing to send their heads and cylinders to us cross country and believing they're going to get them back. Trust is big in the motorcycle industry.
It's everything.
So it took a while before people were willing to trust us. And I had a lot of people, in fact, tell me, Well, how do I know I'm going to get my heads and cylinders back?
Right.
So what I started doing was I'd point at my motorcycle and I'd say, does it look like I'm missing a set of heads and cylinders? Do you think I need to keep your heads and cylinders?
Right.
I said, buddy, I'm trying to make money off you, but I'm trying to make money off you by diamond cutting your heads and cylinders and creating this cooling effect. You know, it's a win-win.
Yeah.
You get a really cool engine, I get a little bit of money. That's what I'm doing, straight up. I'm not trying to steal your heads and cylinders.
Yeah.
And people started sending them, and it just kept growing and growing. And at one point, we were cutting 480 motors a month
Wow.
at $450 a pop.
Okay.
I mean, it was a pretty healthy business, you know.
Yeah, from lane flooring to accidentally.
We got really
Selling
popular,
average.
you know. Most of the motorcycles that were featured on all the motorcycle shows on TV,
Yeah.
they were doing diamond heads.
Wow.
All the custom builders were using diamond heads. Victory motorcycles, you know, Polaris Industries put out that Victory motorcycle.
Yeah.
We cut 1,200 motors a year for them.
Wow.
You know, I mean,
That's
we
awesome.
had Big Dog motorcycles. We were doing their engines. We were working directly with S&S Motors. I mean, we were doing a ton of work. But that was back in the heydays of Harleys when people were lining up to buy them.
Right.
The stores had waiting lists of people to buy motorcycles.
Yep. I remember
You
all
know?
the TV shows on Discovery and all that. I was
It
watching
was,
it too. Oh yeah.
It was a fun ride. It really was. I mean, it was a blast. I met a lot of really cool people along the way, and I had a lot of fun. Really did.
Very cool. Is there anything negative that came with your success?
Well, I mean, yes and no. I don't know if it's so much because of my success, but my biggest regret in life was going to Daytona in 2012 where my wife was killed.
Oh my God.
That's,
I couldn't imagine that, brother.
it was life-changing.
Yeah.
And it was shortly after that I gave diamond heads to my kids and I just walked away.
Understood.
I just,
Understandably so.
I don't even know how to describe that. You know, I mean, she was my wife. She was the mother of my kids. We'd been together for 37 years.
Oh my Lord.
She was my business partner.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not the way life's supposed to go, you know?
It's not.
I mean, I planned everything to set her up because I was going to die first.
Right.
That's a natural progression of life, you
Right.
know? Grandpa always dies before grandma does, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So, yeah, it didn't work out that way, but that's not, I mean, I don't know if that qualifies as a regret, but if there was one thing I could change, that would be it.
Yeah.
Other than that, I had a ball with diamond heads. I've met so many cool people. I've been able to help a lot of people throughout my life. I've donated shit tons of money to charities, and I don't regret any of that. I had fun.
And then it led you to where you're at now.
Yeah. Diamond Heads
Getting
is what paid for this 46 acres I sit on. It paid for the bar that I own today and the RV park and everything else. So, you know, yeah, it was life-changing. It was life-changing. And every time I see a vehicle going down the road, a truck with flooring in the back of it, I look up and say, thank you, God.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Thank you, God. Because I worked hard, you know. I mean, I
Yeah,
loved
what was-
doing floors for a living, but it was hard work.
So what was your average day once you got going? And you're saying you had the heyday. I mean, how many hours did you end up hiring a bunch of people that did everything for you, or were you hands on? I know certain
Well,
owners or people who create it want to make sure their product is.
My daughter was in charge of the office, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because me and my wife was traveling a lot. In the heydays, I was doing 38 motorcycle rallies a year.
Wow.
I was living in my bus 10 months out of the year,
Yeah.
just traveling from show to show to show. And, you know, I'd get to go home every now and then, but I might be home a few days and then I'm back on the road for another month, sometimes 2 months, you know?
Wow.
And so I wasn't in the shop, but I was lucky that I had family that I could trust.
Yeah.
my daughter and son-in-law, my son-in-law took care of everything in the back shop, and my daughter took care of everything in the office. And so they kept things flowing. And of course, me and my wife kept the checkbook with us. We'd overnight checks.
Yep. Make sure everything's
Because,
handled.
Yeah.
Keeping that side going. Was there ever anybody in the motorcycle industry that influenced you or that helped you along the way, help bring you up, kind of give you a little...
I'll tell you who's helped me the
friend.
most and became a good friend. When I first discovered Diamond Heads, see, I've been riding Harleys a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Arlen Ness was considered the godfather of custom motorcycles.
He still is.
So I thought, well, he's passed.
I know. I'm just saying his legacy. If you
Yes,
say that, if you say the godfather, that's who they
he
think.
was truly the godfather of custom motorcycles. And I used to dream of the day that he would do Diamond Heads. I always thought, man, if Arlen never thought it was cool, then you made it, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So I always kind of dreamed of that day. And then one day he sent a job in.
No way.
And we did it. And it was for a bike that he was doing on TV. And he won his biker's build-off with Diamond Heads on it. And Arlen, he pointed to Diamond Heads and he said, this Diamond Heads, this is the engraving of the 2000s. He says, this is the coolest thing you can do.
Oh.
And from him doing that for us, and I hadn't even met the man at this point.
Right.
But my business it shot up like a rocket.
Oh, yeah.
It was unbelievable. We went from 300 Harley dealerships nationwide to over 3,000 dealers nationwide in 1 year. That's how big an influence that Arlen had.
Holy.
So then I was in Daytona Beach doing Bike Week again, and here comes Arlen Ness with this bike. And he says, I want to leave this in your booth. And I'm like, Arlen,
that's a lot of responsibility.
you don't understand. This is a gorgeous motorcycle,
Oh, yeah.
And I said, man, I'd hate for you to do that, people sit on my bikes. I got to tell them to get off them all the time. I don't want somebody to scratch your paint or something. I'd feel horrible, and he goes, it's just a motorcycle. And he leaves it in my booth.
Oh.
Yeah, he was a super nice guy. I got to be friends with him. And I really liked Arlen Ness. He was not only the godfather of custom motorcycles, but he was truly a good person.
Yeah.
This is a guy, he was obviously very well off.
Yeah.
He had a lot of employees. When he rolled in, he had a semi.
Yeah.
They had this big awning system that'd come out, just like I had my trailer, but my trailer was only, 25 foot.
Right, yeah.
His was 55 foot, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But he didn't have to set any of that up, but you'd see him over there working with the guys.
That's the type of person that you want to work for. If they're willing to get their hands, not just walk out and go handle this for me.
He was a great guy. He's the one that got me the contract with those Victory motorcycles for Polaris.
Wow.
Those were all, that 1,200 motorcycles a year were the Arlen Ness Edition motorcycles.
No kidding.
And I didn't know at the time, but later he told me, he said, well, you could have charged them more, right? And I said, well, what do you mean? And he said, well, I told him I wouldn't build those bikes unless they had Diamond Heads on it.
Wow.
And I thought, man, I wish I'd have known that sooner,
Yeah. It sounds like he still did pretty good, though.
Oh, he probably did more for me and more for Diamond Heads than anybody else, honestly.
Wow.
And he didn't do it. He never asked for anything. He never expected anything. He did it just because he's just truly a good man.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, he took a liking to me.
That's a good person.
I thought a lot of him too. I really did. I thought a lot of Arlen. In fact, when I heard of him pass, and most people when they pass, it's like, it's sad.
Yeah.
I hate that for their families, but it doesn't really affect me,
Yeah.
I actually choked up when I heard Arlen died.
Yeah.
I really, really respected him. He was a good man, and I really liked him. So yeah, he was the biggest influence.
Wow, that's amazing. We're running up on a half hour here. is there anything else you wanted to let people know before we wrap this up? And I have another question for you too. Is there any way, we'll see how this episode does, but if you folks out there want to actually see some of the motorcycles he's built or see some of the stuff, I'll put images in here throughout it, but if you'd like to see some of that, let me know in the comments and maybe I can get access. You still have some of your old motorcycles?
Oh yeah. I got 5 Harleys.
Oh my God. Maybe we could go take a look at your Harley collection if that's what people want to see. But is there anything else you wanted to end this on?
Well, I think if people want to hear more, I mean, I'll be honest with you, I hate talking about myself because I don't know. I don't want people to think, it's a jerk Casey's, something cool. Because I really honestly, I feel like I didn't do anything that anybody else couldn't have done.
Right.
They could have done it too.
Yeah.
I just thought of it and did it before they did.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't think I did anything special. You know what I mean? But if people want to hear more, I mean, I got some stories. I'll tell you all kinds of stuff. I mean, if you want to hear it, but if you don't, that's okay too. I understand.
Awesome. Well, Keith, I'll tell you right now, I appreciate the opportunity to work on this podcast with you. It's been a great ride since I met you. I mean, it's
been a lot of
always
fun.
Flown like real natural to me. Conversations, working with you, everything is very easy to do. And I appreciate everything you've done just getting me back into this world because I didn't
truth
want to
is,
be
Eric, this wouldn't be happening if it wasn't for you.
Oh, come on.
I mean, because you know all the technical side of this. I don't know any of that shit. I mean, I can put a motorcycle together, but I can't put a podcast together. I mean,
it is a little bit different, but
right.
No, I'm happy to be here working with you. So
hey, I'm thrilled.
Well, all right, everybody. We'll see you guys on the next one. I'm telling you, hit the like, hit the subscribe, share this out to people who may enjoy this as well. We got a lot more people coming, a lot of cool stories. So please tune in. We'll see you guys on the next one. Stay blessed.
Have a great day.
So come on down, raise your voice with me. Whether you're from the city or the fields of green, we're just a bunch of rednecks doing our thing in this beer garden life that makes our hearts sing.